with YM Deosthalee, the CMD of L&T Finance Holdings, on the sidelines of the CII NBFC Summit.
Sir, sir, sure, it's recorded. Sir, if you could come this way. Yeah. Joining us, CNBC TV 18. Sir, first question, we are talking about droughts in a lot of areas, especially in Maharashtra, in Uttar Pradesh. Given that geography-wise, are you seeing stress in these areas, and do you believe it's temporary, could be reversed?
Yes, we had 2 consecutive years of bad monsoon.
Yeah.
So some parts of the country have been affected. There is drought in some states. So the demand for rural products and the consumption in those areas has been affected. It will be there for some months. We expect the situation to improve in the last quarter of the year. So this particular quarter, that is October-December quarter, there is definitely some stress in that, but I think last quarter things should improve and next year should be okay.
What are these areas where you're seeing stress specifically, and why are you confident of an uptick by the last quarter?
You mean geographical areas? Some of the states have been affected. Maharashtra, for example, Marathwada has been affected.
Okay.
North Karnataka has been affected. Some parts of MP have been affected. I think because rural demand is always cyclical and it depends still on monsoon. So once the demand pickup happens, and I think the Rabi sowing has been reasonably good as of now. So that's why we believe that the last quarter things should pick up. So this is a cycle, and I think cycle will reverse. It's not that it is a permanent situation.
So you're a big lender to infrastructure as well, and recently the government said the growth will not be 8.5%. It could be in the range of 7.5%. What is your outlook for credit growth? I mean, will that also remain anemic for a while? When do you expect an uptick there?
See, we are a lender in infrastructure space, you're right. But our lending in infrastructure area is focused on only 2 products. So currently our focus is on renewable energy and operational projects. So there is no demand for any other sector. And I think we have also deep focused over the last 1.5 years. So the entire growth in infrastructure today is in the renewable energy space. And in addition to that, through the infrastructure debt fund, we are also refinancing other infrastructure projects which are operational. So the growth is going to come from that. We don't expect that the credit growth or growth will be there in other products, other areas of infrastructure. It's possible that a few months down the line, there will be some pickup in the road sector. Some contracts have been awarded, but they have still to reach financial closure. So it will take some time before we actually see pickup in other areas. But since we have developed extremely good capabilities in the renewable energy area and also refinancing, we will have a very healthy growth in that segment as well.
Sir, I also want to ask you about the recent guidelines from Reserve Bank of India for banks to link their base rates to marginal cost of funding. As a result of that, their rates will come down significantly. Do you see increasing competition in your segments owing to that?
Competition is always there. It will be there. There is competition from banks.
Yeah.
There will be competition from small banks.
Yes.
And I think it is very important for us to make sure that we have competencies in the areas in which we operate. And I think that is very critical. You need to understand the customer. Your costs have to be very optimal. You need to make sure that you are innovative and agile. I think unless and use technology effectively. So if you do these things, then competition will always be there, and it's fun to have competition.
But you can't be an outlier also. So will you also look at reducing your base rates in line with the industry to perhaps maintain customers?
We are in business, and we have to play the game as it demands. So.
Okay, that's YM Deosthalee saying that the stress on account in the rural markets on account of drought was likely to persist for Q3. He expects a pickup only in Q4. But for the company, L&T Finance Holdings, given their capabilities in the renewable energy, in refinancing, growth should be pretty healthy for them, at least in these 2 segments. The other aspects of infrastructure like roads, etc., is likely to pick up in a few months or so.